I'd love to go and ask both of you why the continuous ATO, why now? What's the advantage and why is this something that's got to be on the table?
From my perspective, I've spent a lot of time, in active duty military, a federal civilian, and on the industry side, doing compliance and RMF and ATOs and things like that. And I've seen all these technological trends in terms of cloud and APIs and automation and DevOps and Agile. And throughout that time, like compliance just simply hasn't kept pace. We're still living in Word and PDF and Excel and static documentation, snapshot in time assessments. And as you point out, software nowadays moves in minutes and and it's always the long pole in the tent of getting new features and capabilities into the hands of warfighters or federal service members, or new capabilities out to folks that rely on these agencies and services as well. And I think it's a push to kind of push from that that legacy approach to ATO and compliance to a more modernized approach around GRC engineering and making compliance a part of that entire movement around Agile and DevOps.
Yeah, and for me, I mentioned it's near and dear to my heart. My first 7 years, I was an intelligence officer in the Air Force. I did mostly targeting operations, counterterrorism, drone strike in particular. And I saw software cause missions to fail, people to die. We have really great hardware in the Air Force. We put a missile on a fly halfway around the globe. But back in the Joint Operations Center, you look at anybody's computer screens and it's pretty horrifying what people are using to conduct those operations with that advanced hardware sometimes. And I saw a particularly egregious incident where I traced back some issues I saw in software and found out we had known about the issues for a little over 5 years. The requirements had actually gotten funded. The software had been built. The fix was sitting on the shelf waiting to go through the ATO process. So when I showed up at Hanscom Air Force Base and launched Kessel Run with my co-founders, this was like a passion project for me. I was fueled with rage and a little bit of youthful exuberance. I was much younger then. And, we were able to get that first continuous ATO. And I think the name kind of belies what's really going on. As I said before, we have to be able to continuously deliver valuable software that users love. That continuous delivery piece, to do that in federal government, you need an ATO that supports continuous delivery. I call that continuous ATO. I think it's taken on a new meaning, maybe we'll get into, but the only way I know to do that is continuous implementation of RMF. So hopefully the conversation gets there later about how to actually integrate RMF with your software development lifecycle, because I think that's really important. But bottom line, why now? Why does this matter? People die. The cost of delay, in business, when Fortune 500s get disrupted by software, it costs a balance sheet, some P&L statements. But the cost of delay in our industry is lives and really important missions. So we have to get this right.